Stale, predictable, unoriginal. Those are just some of the ways that these 9 specific SML characters have fallen off over time. And today, we're gonna talk about all of them. Starting with Brooklyn Guy. He went from the occasional straight man to literal filler. Brooklyn Guy used to be one of the most beloved SML characters of all time. But in June of 2022, when Logan started giving him more of the spotlight in videos, something changed. But was it really just the spotlight that made Brooklyn Guy feel stale? Or was it something deeper? Let's take a step back. A couple of years ago, Brooklyn Guy used to be used as more of a side character, appearing in only 40 videos in 2017, compared to the over 123 appearances that he racked up in 2024. That's nearly 3 times as many. Back then, every Brooklyn Guy scene felt like a treat, whether it was his relatability as a stressed out guy juggling 50 jobs, or his snarky back and forth with other characters. Brooklyn Guy quickly cemented himself as a fan favorite. But fast forward to today, and it feels like Brooklyn Guy has become a default character for any role that needs filling, whether it makes sense or not. Need a doctor? Brooklyn Guy. Need a police officer? Brooklyn Guy. The Tooth Fairy? I'm sure he's done it. That overexposure, combined with his same repetitive jokes, have really dulled the charm of his character. But what really caused the downfall of Brooklyn Guy? Well, it all started, funnily enough, when Logan realized that people were starting to get sick of Jeffy, but they loved Brooklyn Guy. So Logan decided a good idea would be upgrading Brooklyn Guy from a side character to a main character. But little did he know, this would be a crucial mistake. And one of the biggest outcomes of this mistake were the Nintendo animations, which are used in SML videos mainly when Brooklyn Guy tells a story about his life. But it started to get weird when they would just seemingly use a Nintendo animation just to pad out the runtime of a video. These animations started to become so repetitive and predictable that they even break the fourth wall and joke about it in videos now.
Hey, this is my favorite day. I love pinching people for not wearing a certain color.
Why?
Well, I think I got addicted to it in high school.
Oh no, you're gonna tell me an animated story, aren't you?
You bet I am. Settle in, it's a long one.
But the biggest problem with Brooklyn Guy nowadays is the filler. Literally every time he is used nowadays, it's just because they can't think of more actual content to put in the video. And this really shows how formulaic the typical SML video is. It always starts with Jeffy, Marvin, and Rose on the couch. Jeffy causes some problem, and then they can't think of other ways to make the video longer. So they throw in Brooklyn Guy, and then he starts yapping, which leads to videos like SML movie Jeffy's Scream, which I'll save your eyes from because it's so bad. Over time, Brooklyn Guy's personality started to shift, as he went from the only straight man character to a lazy, pathetic man-child who tries to skip all of his responsibilities. Nowadays, Brooklyn Guy just wants to get drunk, watch the heat all day, and go to the strip club, which ruined a lot of the relatability people had with his character. That, paired along with a change from the original puppet and the loss of his Brooklyn accent, Brooklyn Guy is a character that has fallen off over the years. But if we're talking about a character losing everything that once made them great, Dougie would be the perfect example of that. Ya boy Dougie, formerly known as Black Yoshi, was once one of the funniest and most unique characters in SML. After his introduction in 2008, it didn't take long until he became a fan favorite, and it's really not hard to see why.
My boy Mapleham Lincoln Navigator in the 1800s signed the answer my pants pronunciation, so that means I ain't got to listen to you.
The Emancipation Proclamation?
Yeah, don't you spit balls at me, you can't rap.
But back then, Black Yoshi's character worked because of his exaggerated but consistent traits. He was selfish and lazy, but it was balanced out with a sense of charm and humor. Episodes like Black Yoshi's Kids and Black Yoshi's Kool-Aid Problem are prime examples of peak Black Yoshi, but that didn't last for long. From 2018 to 2020, he started gradually being used less and less in videos. Times were moving fast, and he just wasn't a main character anymore, as other characters like Jeffy took more of the spotlight. But this all changed when SML received the notorious cease and desist letter from Nintendo, not allowing them to use their copyrighted characters, causing Black Yoshi to not appear in SML videos anymore. When SML first got sued, they changed all of their main characters to puppets, outfits. But Logan didn't know how to design Black Yoshi, so he just stopped using him. This all changed though on August 27th, 2022, when Black Yoshi was reintroduced as ya boy Dougie, and fans loved it. This was honestly a genius idea on how to get Black Yoshi into the show without having him be a Yoshi. Having him as a dinosaur feels authentic as hell, and I give major props to SML for coming up with that idea. But after the hype died down for Dougie's grand return, people started letting their nostalgia take over. I miss when Black Yoshi said folk, had a gun, and was more assertive. The new one is way too dependent on Marvin. How to make a modern Black Yoshi video. Step 1. Black Yoshi asks Mario for money. Step 2. Black Yoshi does something illegal. People weren't really satisfied with this new version of Black Yoshi. Removing his gangster attitude and racial tendencies really started to weaken his character. He was essentially just a watered down version of Black Yoshi. He started whining a lot more and seems like more of a sensitive character now. But another character who had his personality stripped away from him over time was Jeffy. When he was first introduced in 2016, he instantly became one of the most polarizing characters in SML history, with him being an instant hit with younger audiences. But on the other hand, the older fans despised him for taking screen time away from their favorite characters. Initially, Jeffy's character worked because he was a wild card. His unpredictable behavior and the way he drives Mario crazy created a unique dynamic.
8 minus 4 is 4.
No, it's not. F this helmet. F this paint job. And f this diaper. I want to fucking know where that 4 went to come back that fucking fast to be making it not an 8.
However, in 2017, SML made a mistake by posting a video called Jeffy's Tantrum. And in this video, Logan took Jeffy way too far. From 2016 to 2017, his character started shifting from a mentally handicapped kid to someone who just whined and screamed to get his way. And after Jeffy couldn't get his $2.99 game from the App Store, he threw a fit and broke Mario's couch and TV. And after Mario punishes him, he becomes a changed man. And then yeah, I can't fully say what happened, but after this, a fan allegedly tried to do the same thing. We aren't sure if this is true or not, if the fan actually tried this, but the parents should have definitely held him more accountable. Fun fact, this video is what got SML on the news. After this, SML ended up on Good Morning America, which caused all of their videos to get demonetized. A few years later, Jeffy ultimately caught the eyes of Nintendo, and after viewing the channel, they ended up saying enough is enough. By the way, they didn't actually say that, it's just foreshadowing for the cease and desist they got. But the lawsuit didn't really affect Jeffy's character. So what caused his character to fall off? Well, I couldn't really find an exact reason. It just seems that over time, SML got bored and wanted to give the spotlight to other characters like Brooklyn Guy and Marvin. Now, Jeffy is barely used as the main character anymore. Sure, he's still in titles and thumbnails, but in most modern SML videos, he's just a background character that sits and watches Brooklyn Guy while he goes on his infamous yapping sessions. The best example of this is Jeffy's Scream. Fixing Jeffy's character is really easy though. All they really need to do is actually just have him be the main character in videos again. Jeffy's character may be easy to fix, but on the other hand, Junior's is unfixable. Introduced in 2011, Junior quickly became a mainstay on the channel because he resonated with younger fans. Junior was the perfect way to cause problems in other characters' lives, which inherently made the show more interesting. However, when Junior turned into a puppet, his personality became increasingly boring. Episodes started to focus more on his entitlement rather than his adventurous spirit. The humor that once came from his interactions with other characters began to feel mean-spirited and repetitive, constantly joking about Cody's mom being fat and Joseph's mom being dead. I miss the plushies. Having Nintendo characters and incorporating parts of the games in some videos was a real treat. While Junior still has some moments of charm, his characters lost so much of what made him special. Fans born from from 2004 to 2008 likely saw their first SML video as a Junior video, and started watching for Junior and his personality. But as of recording this in 2025, Junior is now 16 years old. He's almost a full-grown adult, and that's the reason Junior's character doesn't feel the same as it once did. As Junior's grown up, we have grown up alongside him. So is it really Junior that changed, or is it you? Well, most likely it's a combination of both, as Logan has started doing things with Junior that most teenagers do, like getting a girlfriend and getting their first job. Despite what people say, Bowser Jr. videos will always be nostalgic to me. Junior might be seen differently because of nostalgia, but someone whose character has actually changed for the worse over time is Cody. Cody was introduced in 2013 as one of Bowser Jr.'s best friends. He was always the weird kid in the group who liked men and hard math problems.
It's a medical disorder.
Cody quickly became a fan favorite due to his unique personality and his role as the smart kid, leading to some of the most memorable moments in SML history. Early on, Cody's character was defined by his nerdy traits, his obsession with Ken, and his interactions with his over-the-top parents, Judith and Tyrone. But things slowly started to change for the worse when Cody was turned into a human puppet. He started being overshadowed by repetitive jokes about his sexuality and getting really, and I mean really explicit with his new boyfriend, Timmy Huckerdoo.
Hello?
What do you need?
I need hungry hippos.
He's busy.
While these jokes were funny at first, they started to dominate his character, leading to him being more lustful in videos. Another issue is how Cody's dynamic with Junior and Joseph has shifted. Earlier episodes showed a genuine friendship between the kids. Even though Cody was the one they always picked on, they still genuinely cared for him. However, as they grew older, we grew older too, and naturally, their friendship has started to weaken. Also, another thing that really bothers me about Cody's is all the sponsors he constantly promotes in videos. I swear, whenever it switches scenes in SML now, I always get scared that Cody's gonna jump scare me and start talking about Dragon City. And I get it, SML's gotta get that bag, but seriously, is it that hard to think of a better way to integrate a brand deal? And speaking of brand deals, this video is sponsored by me. If you're a brand, please sponsor me. I gotta pay my editor and feed my kids. Anyways, moving on to our next character that has gotten worse over time, Joseph. One of Joseph's defining traits in the early days was his tragic backstory. Joseph was portrayed as a poor character with an absent father and deceased mother. Despite these hardships, though, his optimism made him a pretty liked character. However, over time, his personality started to change, and he slowly became more mean-spirited. Many of the jokes about his poverty now are really over-exaggerated and repetitive. And now, his only role in modern SML videos is just for him to be there and meet Ride Jr. and take whatever side he's taking against Cody. Is Joseph even real? What is bro doing? One video that's a pinnacle of Joseph's decline is SML movie Joseph the Millionaire, but this was so hated that Logan deemed it not to be canon. And in that video, it was revealed that Joseph's actually rich, and it showed how truly mean he actually is to other characters. But one of the biggest problems is he started to get used a lot less in videos. See, Lavelle is the voice actor of Joseph, but he also plays a bunch of other characters too. So whenever they need a scene of Junior, Cody, and Chef Pee-Pee, Joseph is forced to leave so they can continue with Chef Pee-Pee, Tyrone, and many of the other side characters he plays. Another reason for him possibly appearing less in videos is the fact that Lavelle actually has a kid now, so that might be a reason he shows up to less filming days. The reason why Joseph doesn't seem to have a quote role in the friend group is because they always make him leave at the beginning of the video, and after they had to switch to the human puppets, Joseph eventually ran into a problem over time where he kind of just became a black stereotype. But another character who ran into this same problem was Chef Pee-Pee. Chef Pee-Pee was initially beloved by fans because of his relatable reactions to the ridiculous requests of his boss Bowser. If Chef Pee-Pee was in a video, you knew it would be a good one. Similar to Joseph, his character also started with a personality completely different from what it is today. And Chef Pee-Pee's character is probably the one that has had the most changes in SML history. He started off as a really stupid chef that would just talk about cooking turtle soup.
No employee.
Yes, I'm the new employee.
Turtle?
Yes, I'm a turtle.
Turtle soup, yes.
Turtle soup.
Turtle soup.
No, turtle soup. No, turtle soup.
But over the years, he's evolved to actually be a pretty decent chef, with him at least cooking some pretty edible meals from 2014 to 2015. However, in 2017, fans noticed that his cooking started to get worse. But honestly, him making meals that literally made no sense, like burnt mac and cheese, actually made the videos hilarious and added an interesting new trait to his character. But in recent years, as early as 2023, Chef Pee-Pee has started to fall off, in pretty much the exact same way Joseph did, where over time, he just became a black stereotype and a shell of what his character used to be. The shift really started in SML movie Boys Night Out, and ever since then, he's weirdly become more gangster than a chef. Although Chef Pee-Pee is still a treat to see, even recently, it would still be nice if he went back to focusing on being more of a terrible chef and cooking new abominations never seen before in videos. But this isn't nearly as bad as Marvin, who has had the biggest fall off out of any character in SML history. Once the protagonist of the show, the literal face of the channel, Mario somehow went from the face of SML to a glorified punching bag. But what makes his story even crazier? Somehow, he's had a comeback. Let's rewind to the very beginning. Back in 2007, yes, 2007, Mario was the main character of the channel. Classic videos with Mario, like Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventures, had that perfect mix of comedy, randomness, and charm that made SML what it is today. Modern SML fans will never understand what we've experienced. But then, everything changed in 2016. When Jeffy was introduced, he completely flipped SML on its head. Suddenly, Mario's whole existence revolved around babysitting Jeffy. Sure, Mario has always been stressed out, but now his frustration went from relatable and funny to non-stop whining. The once adventurous Mario was now just a guy who yelled, sighed, and begged for peace. Some fans found his misery hilarious though, but others not so much. OG SML fans started to jump ship, saying Mario's lost what made him special. He wasn't an adventurer anymore. He was more of just Jeffy's dad. And this was only made worse with the rebranding of his name from Mario to Marvin in 2021, due to copyright concerns. Well, the name and puppet change itself wasn't really problematic. It really felt like the final nail in the coffin for a character who already lost so much of his original charm. Bro, if you really think about it, Marvin used to be Mario. He used to go on these crazy adventures with his brother Mama Luigi, trying to save Peach. He ends up meeting Rosalina, taking care of Jeffy, and doesn't have a job. What a downfall. Marvin is now adventureless. His dynamic with Rose has also become a source of frustration for fans, as their relationship feels forced and is lacking chemistry. But around 2023, when Brooklyn Guy started being used a lot more in videos, Marvin almost took back his role as the straight man of the group, and actually had a really interesting dynamic with Brooklyn Guy, causing Marvin nowadays to either be pretty neutral or positively looked at by some fans. But I can't say the same about his once nemesis, Bowser. What made Bowser so entertaining in the early days was his exaggerated personality. He was loud, selfish, and clueless in a way that was absolutely hilarious. Fans loved him so much to the point where he appeared in over 68 videos in 2014. However, in 2021, he had to be changed to a human puppet like everyone else, and went from Bowser to Braxton. Braxton started beating Junior less, stopped caring about him, and continued to stay in his room and watch TV. I think Chef Pee-Pee is now Junior's legal guardian at this point. For some reason, ever since he's been switched to a human puppet, Logan has barely used him in videos. In fact, there is only one video having Braxton in the title, and it's from the Super Bowser Logan channel when they still used the plushies. I guess he's just that unappealing to the audience. But Braxton has definitely had the worst puppet transformation. Now, I have a theory. When Bowser drank the human potion, potion and turned into Braxton, I think his evil powers went away too. He still looks scary, but can't act on it. His powers were present in Bowser, like his flame breathing, as seen in the Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventure series. So when he drank the potion, it eliminated his powers because humans can't contain unnatural power, obviously. But did you know there's over 25 SML characters that have gone missing? If you want to know more, click on this video right here.